Mike Gallagher, Neil Boortz, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, and Michael Medved were granted a special audience with President Bush as the embattled commander-in-chief rallied the 5 hosts who reached, get this, a massive audience of 30 million listeners a week. The White House is offering no apologies for the meeting, which didn't appear on the president's public calendar, but some on the left say the meeting proves, once again, that there is a vast right-wing conspiracy in its most menacing form. While the New York Times is suggesting today that it only shows the president desperately rallying his base while his political ship continues to sink. Here now to talk more about it, Michael Crowley. He's a senior editor for The New Republic, MSNBC political analyst Pat Buchanan, and also Mike Papantonio. He's co-host of Air America's Ring of Fire, my former law partner. Mike, let me start with you. Is this it? Is this the proof? Is this the vast right-wing conspiracy that you Fruit Loops on the left have been talking about all these years? They don't even put it on the public calendar.
I'll tell you what, there's plenty of smoke, but this is no different from the Jeff Gannon male prostitute who was hired by Karl Rove to be a part of the Washington Press Corps or Armstrong Williams. This is nothing new, but yes, it is part of the smoking gun. Unfortunately, it's too little too late for this president. Right now, I got to tell you, Joe, these are the only Republicans who would be seen in public with George Bush. So that's how much trouble he's in. Is it enough to turn it around? No, it's not. 34% of the American people, only 34% of the American public approve of the war. That's a problem for him. 37%
and
on
Michael,
a good
Michael
day.
Crowley, that's I guess the biggest problem here. When you have the President of the United States a few weeks before a critical midterm election that's going to determine whether he actually is able to do anything in his final 2 years, he's not reaching out to the middle. He's certainly not going to the left. He's working desperately to nail down the very people that have been his most ardent supporters all along. But even some in that group, like Laura Ingraham, have said, hey, I'm a conservative first before I'm a Republican. I mean, bad news for the president, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all Bush has left is the base. And if the base starts to crumble, you know, we're into territory I don't think anyone's seen in modern history where a president just has nowhere to turn. But so he's got to rally the base, and he doesn't want to go to the middle. This is a president who's governed very conservatively time and again, and I think he learned a lesson from his father, who did kind of try to appeal to the middle a little bit, and then got hammered from the right, including prominently, among other people, by our esteemed guest here, Pat Buchanan.
I don't see anything wrong from the president's standpoint. You got to realize, look, this isn't some far-out thing like the defunct Air America we're talking about. This is Joe. You're talking about people who are the top 5 or 6 or 7, besides Michael Savage, talk show hosts in the entire country. They talk to millions
Joe,
of
you know
people.
the problem.
They're better known than congressmen and senators.
Pat Buchanan is just part of the delivery system. He's just part of the delivery system.
Tell it to
He's
Bush.
no different from Rush Limbaugh or Hannity. Pat Buchanan is part of the delivery system. Here's how it works, Joe. Let me tell you how it works before Pat's heard on this. Let me tell you how it works. Every week there's a meeting in Washington. Grover Norquist holds a meeting. Nobody disputes that. The marching orders come from Karl Rove. Then all of a sudden, those marching orders are part of the Drudge Report. And then characters like Pat Buchanan and Bill O'Reilly
Explain to me one thing.
Rush Limbaugh deliver that message. You're delivering it right now, Pat. You can't help yourself.
Explain to me one thing. Come on now, look. Explain to me why I haven't been invited to the White House in 15 years if this is the case. I've never talked to George W. Bush since he's become President of the United States.
You know why? You know why? Because you have more class. You have too much class to be in that group. You're not a lapdog. They are lapdogs.
Pat, it's because you brought down his father, I would think, right? I mean,
yeah, gee, Pat, I wonder why they're not inviting me anymore. Well, you know, it kind of reminds me of...
because he's not a lapdog, Pat. Honestly, you're not.
The serious point is that Rush Limbaugh can better communicate the conservative Republican message than anybody else in America, right?
But it shows the problem here, Joe. The problem is for the conservative talk show hosts. And like Rush, who's the Elvis Presley of the whole group, it is that conservatism and republicanism are splitting. Conservatism is going one way and the party is not going the same way. These are guys who came into the movement as conservatives. They support the Republican Party because it is the conservative party, or they thought it was, like me.
Well, and
what
you know,
happens when the conservatives go?
You have Rush Limbaugh that is gone off the reservation. Laura Ingraham, who at times has gone off the reservation.
Or has Bush gone off the reservation?
Well, actually,
Bush Pat hits.
But isn't that in the end the problem?
Yes, it is. I mean, look, on illegal immigration, these people love Bush or like Bush. They do not understand why he won't secure the borders and stop the illegal immigration.
But, Joe, I think at the end of the day, these people are they're not going to say vote Democratic. I mean, at the end of the day, they go off the reservation a little bit. It actually makes for good radio. It's kind of a man bites dog thing when they bash their own party. But at the end of the day,
why would you vote for Pelosi,
Joe,
for heaven's sakes?
Can I tell you this? 71% of the American people believe the country is heading in the wrong direction. I don't care who you are, whether you're Rush Limbaugh, I don't care. You cannot change that message up to the November. He's out of time. So this is a last desperate effort. And to answer your question, yes, it is part of a well-organized movement that the progressives don't have enough sense to engage in.
Pat Buchanan, the problem is, for Republicans this year, is that movement conservatives, people who voted for you, people who voted for me in 1994, people who got Ronald Reagan elected in 1980, all of those people, or most of those people that were really the engine behind those victories, are saying to me privately, I don't care whether Republicans maintain control of Congress or not.
Well, you know, that's, Joe, you're exactly right. And look, we are ambivalent. There's no doubt about it. We say, look, maybe they ought to be punished for what they're doing on immigration, on spending, and on other things, and the Foley mess. But then you say, look, do we really want Nancy Pelosi in? We don't believe in her. We don't. The Democrats offer us nothing, and the Republicans have disappointed us. And this is what the president has come to realize. And frankly, Joe, it is the president's fault.
And Michael Crowley, the biggest problem is people aren't going to go out, and a lot of people have said this before, but it bears repeating. People aren't going to go out and vote for a Democrat who's going to put Nancy Pelosi in as Speaker of the House if they're conservatives. But they're sure as heck not going to stand in line for 10 hours like they did in 2004.
Well, yeah, the fear is that they'll sit on their hands. And you hear this a lot, particularly, I think, from the evangelical community, which is constantly debating, is this process just too tawdry and corrupt, and should we sit it out? You know, James Dobson is often kind of musing about this in public, and I think the great fear of the Republican Party is that those masses of voters will finally say, to hell with those guys. And then look out below, because it's going to be a long way down for Bush and his party.
Mike Papantonio, let's talk about the power of radio. Doesn't it say something that in 2006, the President of the United States calls in DJs, we joke, call them DJs, but radio talk show hosts, to help him out in his time of need.
It is huge. It is huge. I think of Pat Buchanan's race when he ran for president. Think of who his supporters were. They were people who listened to AM, FM radio. You have this elitist part of the progressive movement that looked down their nose back in the 80s when you had the neocon movement saying we need to organize an infrastructure to deliver a radio message. You had Democracy Alliance types, the elitist Democrats saying, no, that's not our audience. Well, let me tell you something. That's middle America. Right. They can deliver the message.
Joe?
Right now, though, you have a president that is in such bad shape, it's too little too late.
And, Pat Buchanan, let me add something to what Mike said, because it reminds me of something that I've seen in Woodward's latest book when he talks about how George Bush got reelected in 2004. The Bush White House understood that it wasn't country club Republicans. In fact, Bush said to his staff after he beat John Kerry the next day, hey, country club Republicans didn't vote for me. It was working class Republicans who connected with me. Those are the people that listen to Rush Limbaugh. Those are the people who listen to Sean Hannity. Those are the people who listen to Laura Ingraham, who buy your books. And those are the people who are ticked off now, Pat.
And they're the ones walking away, and the president does not seem to understand why. And that's why he's got a problem with these folks, and that's why I called him in to talk to him. He should listen to them rather than them listening to him.
Joe,
I'll tell you what. Yeah, Michael, go ahead.
Democrats talk about the right-wing conspiracy, but they actually sort of admire. I mean, they sort of fear and admire it at the same time, because I think it's effective. And in fact, there was a great bit in the Washington Post the other day about how the RNC had a new Oppo research guy, and they flew him down to Miami to have dinner with Matt Drudge so they could introduce him, and the two could get off on the right foot and have a working relationship. And that's it right there. You know, that's what liberals are terrified of.
Matt Drudge is just about the most powerful journalist in America.
Oh, there's no doubt
He really
about
is. I mean, that's where I go to get my news and to go through his machine
You're
into all
scaring
these
me on
other
that,
folks.
Pat.
All right, well,
You're
Mike
scaring me.
Papantonio, I'll scare you too. Thank you, Michael Crowley, Mike Papantonio, Pat Buchanan.